in the beginning, I think we did a Mentimeter, and there was a question asked, how do you feel about this transition, about this end of life that we kind of announced as well, or kind of, we did that. And I think one of the results was that there was lots of concerns, also excitement. But I hope after that moment, after that kind of Mentimeter, we informed you more about what is available, about what the future is. And I hope a lot of you that were concerned are a little bit more excited now instead. And actually, hopefully after this session, you also get a little bit more at ease that this transition is a process that we can guide you through, where we can help you as well. And kind of to be very American is like, we got you. We can support you all the way from the beginning to the end. So we kind of want to present you here now, together with Paul, a few of the upgrade scenarios. There's kind of 2/3 scenarios for you to take. We'll guide you a little bit through our methodology that we've been successfully carrying out with a few customers, or quite a bit already. And we are upgrading, as we speak, many others as well. We'll go through the steps a little bit more in detail. Okay, what do we do per step of the methodology? And we'll introduce you to our Upgrade Hub team, which we are very happy with, and they are very excited. They are not concerned, they're very excited to get ready and get started with you. So we'll introduce them to you as well. I'm not going to talk about Flow Connect. I think we've done the selling, we've done the marketing. There is lots of exciting new features available for you now. The future is here, and we can help you transition into that. The only thing maybe I want to add is that I don't think, if I understand correctly, and of course I don't work technically in the platform, it's not a new way of working that the new platform will provide you. It will provide you with a service instead of delivering a product, meaning you get access to the innovation and new technology that our R&D is releasing and building on a daily basis. So it becomes more accessible for you to go and ride that innovation train that our R&D constantly works on. And of course, there's lots more value that we've discussed and showed you yesterday. And there will be a lot more in the future. So what upgrade scenarios do we see and do we offer? There's 2 parts. I say 3 because I also work with our partners, and they are very important here as well. And of course, a source for you for support, for guidance, for knowledge. But the 2 upgrade paths we offer is one where you maybe feel confident, where you would carry it out yourself, or you would let us help you from the beginning to the end, where we can completely kind of take away your concerns, and you can kind of sit back and relax and let us do the lifting of your environment, and also do the testing with you to make sure that everything is running smoothly before you bring it into production. So there's 2 paths. Do it yourself or do it with us. And of course, you're completely free to do that. And we understand that every customer is a bit different as well. Some of you completely autonomously work with Novacura, build their own solutions, and know the platform ins and outs, and go even beyond capabilities we thought that our platform had. And others rely on maybe partners or ourselves to help build things. So we understand that there's different levels of skill sets available in your organization, but just, again, know that we can complement those, and we're there for you. We have developed a methodology that we've executed on successfully numerous times now. This is the path that we typically take, and I would say it can be cut up in maybe two sections. So if you look at step 1 to 4, it's kind of the pre-upgrade part, where we kind of have to sit down and scope, okay, what will this project mean for you? What is kind of the timeline for you? How the lift technically look like? What is the complexity of the lift? And we kind of scope that with you. And then after step 5, we kind of get to work for you and start upgrading you to Flow Connect. So I would say in step 1 to 4, it's kind of steps that we will always take together. We scope, we do an assessment. Are you ready for an upgrade? Are the features that you're using currently, are they available now in Flow Connect as well? And I think Paul mentioned it yesterday as well. In Q4, I think we have all features now available that is currently available in Classic as well, right?
So that's looking to be Q2 of 2026. We're missing 2 connectors, and we also are missing the GAN scheduler, which comes in Q4. So we're close.
We're close, good. So yeah, that's and we'll go through these steps now in a bit more detail. And like I said, there is also the option, and I actually was in close contact with a customer in the UK, and they said, no, we'll do it ourselves. And they felt they had the skill set, they felt confident, they understood that this is not a large IFS upgrade or Infor upgrade. It's not comparable to that. It is much more straightforward. It's less grand in scope, so they felt comfortable doing it themselves. Of course, there may be their level of complexity with the workflows and the number of machine steps and connectors that they were using also made it a bit more easier for them to do that. Some customers are a lot more complex in terms of how they use the platform. But they kind of I went with them together through steps 1 to 4 to kind of assess first, together with Paul as well, to do an assessment. How are you using it right now? Are there any gaps with what Flow Connect can offer you currently? Then we kind of connect with their environment. We closely look at the workflows. How are they built? How many machine steps are there? How are they configured? What kind of connectors are they using? We give that to our upgrade hub. They do an assessment of how much work it will entail. Typically, it's a matter of hours. It's not a matter of weeks, months, or years. And then we present that kind of cost and timeline back. And of course, then you can make the decision as well, saying, well, you know what, if this is the cost, then we'll let you do that, because that will kind of save us time and effort as well. And others say, well, no, actually, that gives us a reason to do it ourselves.
I think, Robin, the statistics speak for themselves, right? So you think about this, we have over a dozen, maybe more customers at this point, already in the process of making the move to Flow Connect. Of those, we have 3 customers who have decided to try that journey by themselves at this point, some which are successful, they're moving in the right direction. Everyone else has come to us and asked us to do this process with them.
Yeah, exactly. So those 4 steps, either way, what you decide, we will be close with you. And in the hypercare, we of course find it important that you are successful with our new product as well, that you feel safe deploying it in production. We know that you're running the platform for critical processes, and it can't experience any disruption. So we're absolutely always very close in the hypercare stage in whatever path you choose. And we are very quick to respond. I think RevCore said that as well. They got in touch with us, and typically they got a response in minutes. So we are there for you. To go into detail a little bit, to look at the steps in a little bit more detail, like I said, the first steps is to start the dialogue. We want to have the dialogue now. You are in the room, so we have presented a lot, but we want to get some information from you as well. How are you using it? So we want to kind of do a flow readiness assessment. Now I would say maybe that's not the right word. They're all ready to kind of migrate, but of course we kind of want to look. Okay, well, what is the complexity? Like what I said before as well. What are you using? What kind of connectors are you using? How are the portals look like? How many? What is behind the machine steps that you've created? And we do that typically in an assessment or like a type of questionnaire meeting where we schedule 45 minutes. We guide you through a few questions, and then we can get a good idea already if you're ready to kind of transition into Flow Connect.
This is actually my favorite part of the process, because what I get to do is sit on a call with each of you and understand how you're using Flow. So typically in that meeting, which is anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, you have someone who has access to Flow Studio. I ask a couple questions and we sort of point and click around Studio to figure out which features you're using. And then what I provide back, or any of the product managers, is a list of the gaps or the workarounds that we would have to do with your environment for Flow Connect. It's a pretty straightforward process. And out of that, you can understand the implications of moving to Connect, if any.
Yeah. And I think we also have a wish of customers upgrading to 6.15.15, right? Or at least beyond that version, because we have an upgrade companion tool, which we kind of can use to remotely listen into what features you're using and getting an even more detailed picture of how much time you spend in which areas and which features, et cetera, et cetera. And that gives us a lot of feedback as well to kind of estimate and assess the scope of the upgrade project for you. So that's kind of the first step that we take with you, and we urge you to kind of book that with you. I'm sure that the account managers and the main contact persons you have at Platform, they will reach out to you after this conference to kind of set up that meeting already, to do that assessment with you. So you can expect to be contacted about that.
Yeah, one important piece that we need to talk about in that assessment is we typically try to leave that meeting with the list of gaps that may exist, our workarounds, but we also either get access to your environment or we ask that you export your workflows for us to assess. So what we find most of the time in our customer environments is that there's probably not the right word to say, but there's a lot of stuff in that environment, all of which isn't production ready stuff, meaning that there are apps that are used for development purposes that maybe aren't really liftable. It's a great time to clean out the environment and tell us which apps you want to lift. We will only quote the work that needs to be done. So there is a little bit of pre-work there and making sure that we do lift the environments. But what we typically find is customers can go into their production instance and just export the WAP file from there. And that is enough for us to do an assessment of the connectors, how you've configured the applications, and ultimately provide back what Robin's going to go into here, which is the project plan.
Yeah. And of course, the project plan is done. Once we get a connection with your environment, we can go through the workflows, how you're using it, the connectors, etc. Our upgrade hub will go and look at that in detail. They will kind of estimate the work of lifting the connectors of the workflows, how many workflows do you have, etc. And then a number normally comes out in a number of hours, and we can quote the price around that for you. And of course, accordingly, we will then also try to get you into, as what we call a upgrade wave. So we have like waves where customers can sign up to be prioritized for an upgrade. And of course, we urge you to do that as fast as possible, because the waves are being queued up now by many customers saying, yeah, but hey, I'm ready. Can we start the lift right now? So we urge you to look at it as soon as possible as well. There was actually a good question when we had the expert corner, where one of our customers said, we're migrating now to IFS Cloud. What should we wait until we've migrated to IFS Cloud before we start operating Flow Connect? And we said, no, start now, because now you're looking at also kind of determining and mapping what kind of modifications do we want to maybe transition into IFS Cloud? How do we want to have that environment look like and functionality? We want you to do that in parallel with Novacura as well. Maybe you don't want to migrate all the workflows into and connect it with Info Cloud or IFS Cloud. So that mapping you can do in parallel, and it would make sense to also do that already in Flow Connect and start testing there as well. I remember another company that came to me, can I have an additional license to start testing Classic towards Info Cloud? And I said, why would you start testing in Classic while Connect is coming? Or let's straight away test in Connect, so that if it's all okay, you're ready to connect that to IFS Cloud and be ready. Otherwise, you have to do the work twice. So if you find yourself in an upgrade path already with regards to your ERP, yeah, it's the right time to migrate Flow Connect as well.
I think you make a good comment there, Robin. I think we've encountered customers at this point that have not made a full transition with all their applications. So when we go through the process of discussing which apps they want to move, they'll give us a small subset and still live in Flow Classic with the majority of their applications, but do want to pilot out what Flow Connect looks like, maybe take 3-4 applications over. That is an option for our customers as well.
Yeah.
At this point, Robin, they're going to get a project manager, I believe, as well. Yeah. Someone who will be able to guide you through the process.
Exactly. So, of course, you will get upgrade hub resources that will technically go through the lift. They will then be steered by a project manager. And typically, we involve also kind of a senior consultant to do that quality assurance and to and make sure we do the hypercare the right way so that we ensure success for you. So yeah, there's you're in good hands on different levels, I would say. Of course, deciding for a project, the costs, you will get that picture with which you can make a decision. And there's a license element, of course. Most of you are on a perpetual license with a maintenance cost associated with it. The new license model, like many in the industry, is a subscription license now as well, where you kind of transition from a license which is where a product is delivered, you're now getting a service with all the benefits and value that comes with it. So we will have to have that discussion as well to kind of migrate your existing perpetual contract to a subscription contract. So there's two elements there. If you're thinking, okay, what is the cost for me? It will of course be a license cost and then the project cost. And once we are ready to kind of agree and align on that, we're good to go. And then Paul normally comes into play, right?
So typically after the sign off of the agreement, what you'll get is about an hour and a half with me. And what we'll do together is we will set up your connectors. So to do that successfully, we first need to set up a connector agent. A connector agent is typically hosted on some type of machinery. It could be a virtual machine that you guys own, could be a local machine or utility server. The benefit of the agent is that it actually supports encrypted communication for us. So you own a private key, we own a public key, and those two keys are what decrypt the data that communicates back and forth. We don't have access to that private key, only you do. And that is one of the reasons that we actually ask our customers to deploy one of those agents behind their firewalls, or could be in the cloud if you choose. Now, once that's done, we are able to provide you also with 3 environments by default. So that would be a dev, a test, and a production environment. Those are Novacura Flow environments. Now, because you have those 3 environments in Flow Connect, it doesn't mean you get rid of Flow Classic. You will continue to use that in parallel. Typically, we provide what we call the hypercare period, and there's about a month after that we allow Classic to stay up and operational. That period we've extended for each customer just based on demand. So customer asks us to make that 2 months, 3 months. Those are things that we have a discussion on in the project plan. From there, we go through the technical upgrade process. So this is showing how the import is done. Our team takes us on from the upgrade factory. So they will actually go in and take those WAP files that you provided us and import those through Flow Connect. The process here is pretty simple. Where it gets a little bit tricky is the piece that happens after this. In each of the demos we've taken you through this week, what you've seen is the errors that come along with the process. Types in FlowScript get changed. These are things that we've done now many times over and have success in doing. So for us, we understand the processes. For someone who may come on board and try to do it themselves, they'll learn those processes. We have been pretty successful in moving these at a quick rate. I usually like to estimate our team has moved about 50 apps in about a week at this point. Depends on the complexity of those applications, but they are getting better and better at it each time we do one of these upgrades.
Yeah, exactly. It's a matter of repetition, and 80%. maybe 80% of the work across customers is kind of the same. It's maybe the 20% of specific uniqueness that you've built in the platform that maybe offers a little bit extra work.
And I really think that's where we add value in this process, right? You guys could ultimately do everything that I'm showing up here without us. But the value is in the knowledge that comes along with the upgrade process quirks, the things that need to be changed, tweaked, made better. I was talking to a customer, or partner actually, who said, you know, we do a really nice job of uplifting these flows, and I like to say that we take them apples for apples, right? We take Flow Classic and we move it over to Flow Connect. There are so many new features in Flow Connect that we don't utilize in this process. So there is opportunity here. The partner I was talking to said, and I quote this, he was able to make changes to the application to make it the fastest application that he's ever built in Novacura. So there are a lot of new capabilities in the product. What I will say is that we don't typically embed that in this process here unless you ask for it, in which case we can talk a little bit more in detail about what the project would look like. So then our team will go through tests. We will typically run through what I refer to as happy path testing, and then the service individual that's assigned to your project will run through a little bit more detailed testing. From there, if all of the applications run successfully, we will give them back to you for the portion of the work that we need from you, which is more user acceptance testing. So we do need you to run through scenarios that maybe we haven't tested in the application to see if we've made mistakes. Now, if there are any issues during that process, we fix them. You report them as if they were issues in a service engagement, and we take care of them for you. Yeah, and then I think you take UAT, right? I'm a UAT.
I think, yeah, you take that one.
So after UAT, what we'll do is we will train you all on how to use the application. So this is typically done in about an hour-long session as well. I will tell you that most of our customers, I think the way this is built is it's pretty intuitive on how to use. It is a web-based application for a reason. There's not a lot of training that needs to be involved, but we will talk about the specifics on how to use the application. Usually where this adds value is a lot of customers talk about networking. How do I communicate with a file system that is behind my firewall? Will this virtual machine here with the agent be able to communicate with the system? These are the type of detailed questions that they have in architecture that we can support. But that said, we do also provide the ability to show you how to deploy those applications, how we actually execute those applications, and your users log in and use those applications. So we do this in a train the trainer model. I also do believe for those who are sticking around here today, you're going to get similar training later. So about 1:30, we're going to be doing both portal training, the hub training. We'll talk about automations and deployment processes.
Yeah.
Migrations. Thank you. Yeah, and then our go live assistance. So I did mention this, but we will actually sit with you for about a month afterwards. And in that process, we refer to this as our hypercare period. That hypercare period means you missed something inside of your test cases. We will still fix it. So you come to us 2 weeks in and say, we forgot to test this scenario. It looks like a bug. We will fix it. In that hypercare period, we'll take care of any issues that you would have actually seen that are differences between Classic and Connect. And then once again, after that period, we typically allow the environments to run parallel for about a month. A good point in this one, actually. We've had our customers more recently choose to migrate their users from Classic to Connect in a, what's the way to say this? Sort of like a phased fashion. So they don't take all their users right away. They might take specific applications and move them slowly. Revcore was a great example of this. They actually used a shop floor reporting app and took 20% of their users first onto that shop floor reporting application. They didn't take all of them. And then what they did is slowly move their next app, which was already available, but it was more about taking the users from Classic and getting them over to Connect over a period of time. As you saw on their time frame, it did take a little bit of time to move all those users over. It was about a month or so, but it was a good opportunity for them to test out the system.
Yeah. Yeah, and what I remember from Revcore as well is that the lifting itself of workflows is that it was easy, and of course they got our help, so that's probably why they experienced it as being easy. But apart from that, there were also some challenges. But what I was happy to read is that they say, yeah, but Novacura solved all of them, and that's kind of the nature of our game as well. If there's a challenge, we're quite confident that we'll solve it for you in your specific case. So this is kind of the last step of our methodology, and a big part of that is supported by our Upgrade Hub, and we're really happy to have them. These are, I don't know how big the team is actually. Is it 15 or maybe? It's quite a large team, and they are ready to go. They are doing a lot of upgrades right now. I know that there's a queue already for them to start working on or continuously work on. And of course, that's our ambition as well, to move our customer base in the coming, 1.5 years, we said, into Flow Connect. And we want to have that dialogue already. We want to do the assessment with you already, so that we can kind of give you an indication, yeah, but you are ready to do that, and let us help you to get started. And I was thinking with the, but I don't know if this is a good right thought, but you can correct me there. Because when I remember that if we do an assessment, of course, and we'll give you a scope of the project, it's normally a picture of a as-is picture of you right now. But then if you are not ready to kind of migrate, or you feel, no, but this is not, or potentially you maybe had in the back of your mind, we are absolutely not ready, there should be also a right timing to do the assessment. Do you agree? Because if you tend to, for example, if you do an assessment right now, but you as a customer know that you will be onboarding or maybe buying 2 new companies, maybe you're in the development of a new app or about to start a new app, yeah, that will have to kind of be reassessed then later on again. So I would also, I guess, maybe discuss early on with you what would be the right timing for you to start moving to Flow Connect. And I think it's good to surface those things to us as well. If there's a project to build new apps, if there's new customers that you're onboarding or about to onboard, I think that's a good point to get in touch with us saying, okay, maybe we should start looking at Flow Connect now already, because there's going to be quite some changes and some additional usage of the platform that we kind of maybe don't want to do in Classic, but kind of straight away doing Flow Connect. So I think that's a good timing as well.
I'll play the devil's advocate here. Yeah. I would love to talk to you. It's 1 hour of time, and it's a 1 hour investment to understand what your journey looks like to Flow Connect. I think all of us here can support an hour to understand what the process looks like. So yeah, I think we could take it now, and then we can do a reassessment if that's the case, where you maybe aren't prepared to go to Flow Connect for the next couple quarters. Mm-hmm. It's, again, another hour. So not a lot of time, and I think it adds a tremendous amount of value for both us and yourselves.
Yeah.
So what we should talk about there is just that, our goal is that, if you go back one slide, yeah, we do support you even if you do take the process yourself. So we still have to help you set up your agents. You'll still get some generalized training in the product. The initial, we'll take you through how to create your first connector. We will make sure you can connect to the systems you want to connect to, and then you're off on the import process. So this just talks about us providing those similar services, even if you go down the journey yourselves.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess today is already a good. Well, we're doing a dedicated training already, so that's one of the first examples, and probably we'll refer to some documentation there as well that will be available. Like I said, we work in waves, so we kind of have the upgrade hub ready to migrate you. Here you see actually our current planning already, and as you can see, it's queuing up quite a bit. We have a bit of a Kanban board there, so yeah, I would urge you have that dialogue, like we said, and then we can kind of give you an estimate in which wave we can plan you earliest. But first come, first serve, so to say. You can also, we have an online form as well, but like I said, we will reach out to you to have that dialogue proactively. But of course, if for some reason you don't hear from us, there's also an easy way for you to kind of indicate to us saying we want to get that dialogue started and get the assessment. That's it. Thank you. Any questions?